Okay, so we have the nose and the mouth kind of roughly laid in. Next thing we'll do is the eye, and here's a great trick to start the eye. We're going to append, go to Subtool. I'm going to hit Append, which basically means add to, and we'll hit Sphere 3D. Click on that sphere and zoom out. You'll see we got this giant sphere. So if you go to Deformation, and you can quickly scale the size down that way. Okay, so we got it pretty small. Drag out a transpose line from your move tool and use the middle with shift to move that. Okay. Drag it over to the side, and it's still a little too big, which is fine. I'm holding down shift, by the way, every time I drag it out and every time I move it. So hit your scale and hold down shift and use this far circle on your transpose line to scale it down to about the size of the whites in this eye that's drawn in the reference. I'm still in scale mode. Okay, move and move. Good. Now, you see how kind of the center of the sphere lines up with the center of the pupil here. I actually want to move it a little further forward because I could see from my drawing that it's actually a little further back than I'd like it to be. Okay, so here we got the eye. Checking it. Looks about right. So let's turn off our floor. Actually, let's alt click our head, turn on our floor, and roughly rough in the shape of this eye. So I'm going to go back to clay buildup. I'm going to empty out this area here, kind of dig it out. Create some mass right here. I'm creating the outer orbital. Then the kind of the fat that's underneath it. And then under that I'm going to create the foundation of what will become our upper eyelid. It's getting messy here. Sometimes you gotta make a mess. Okay, so you can see definitely that's too deep. I'm gonna turn off our floor. I don't really need it for this. The orbital should be further forward. It's kind of what I'm gathering from this. Okay. So this is a little bit of a dirty process, but it gets you there. In the end, you have an eye. If we were using real clay, it would get a lot messier than this. So this would be the kind of fold underneath the eye. Then there's this little gap in here. It might be too deep. Yeah, it's too deep. Okay. And go down one subdivision, just make this thing a little bit more organized. If we don't want to see this eye socket on the other side, you can just go to Subtool, click your eye, Control drag over the mask, and then go to I'm sorry. Go to Geometry, go to Modify Topology, and do Mirror and Weld across the x-axis, and it'll create an eye. If you don't mask out the eye, it'll actually just mirror it, but as long as you're masking it. Okay. Just want to look at this thing a little bit, see what's going on. Looks to me like I might actually want to push this eye back after all. So I'm going to go to Subtool, move it back to about right there. And then I'm going to use my move tool, or my move brush, to move this back around it. Okay, so this is a mess right now. So we're going to come in from here and we're going to make it less of a mess by using the move tool to kind of shape it roughly. Now what you could also do is use your Damien standard brush on negative to outline that. And this, this is a time you could go in Geometry HD, but you could always do that later. It's not a big deal. And kind of dig in here. I'm still, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still roughing this stuff in. So I've got an eyelid there. A little too much space there. And I'm gonna recreate some of those folds up here. From the outside of the eye, there's kind of this line that comes out. You can show that, represent that, as well as here. Kind of these little breaks that happen. This goes up here, and then this actually kind of folds underneath it. There's a plane change that happens here. It's not just one line along the brow. There's actually a little plane change that happens. If you represent that, it just hints at some anatomy The nose cuts into the brow right here, so you want to show a little bit of that. Okay. And there's definitely a lot of work to be done on this face, but a lot of the primary things are laid in, so I will conclude this lesson and join me in the next one. Thanks for watching.